The following is a list of Moors who have been kidnapped and are being held for a demand of income. The demand of income is being made against the family as well as through fraudulent submissions of documents alleging that they are caring for the people in some sort of long-term care fashion. These Moors have been kidnapped literally off the street by employees of various corporations that are guised as counties, cities, towns, township, boroughs. These names that we have all been mentally conditioned to believe are government are not. They are exactly what they say they are. They are municipal corporations, and as such, they, if you do the research, you will find that they are foreign corporations on American soil. Therefore, they do not have standing nor jurisdiction to make a demand of income or even bring a claim against the Aboriginal indigenous people or any people on American soil, this making their actions criminal. However, as Moors, we must bring these crimes to the forefront via civil complaints against these unalienable constitutional treaty-secured rights of the people, Aboriginal indigenous Moors of this land. If the municipal corporation has been provided, then we reference that along with the union state. If we don't have the municipal corporation where the employee works that actually did the kidnapping, then we just reference the union state that is bound and obligated to protect the people from foreign and domestic invasion. This list comprises Moors who have been kidnapped and are being held hostage by employees of various corporations on American soil, which is a violation of the American Constitution 1791, and it is a treaty violation, being that we are talking about Moorish Americans, Aboriginal indigenous to this land, who have been kidnapped by employees of foreign corporation on American soil. This making this an international issue because you have two nations with one nation warring against another. Therefore, this is an international issue. If you have a family member near or far within your immediate family or one of the family that you know and you would like them added to this list, please send an email to MHHS Eyes Wide Open at gmail.com. In the subject line, put Kidnap More, and please provide us with their free national appellation, the municipal corporation that the employee is operating through that kidnapped them, along with the union state that this corporation is in purview to. So with that, we start out with our sister Abkare Bay, kidnapped through a joint venture between Memphis Corporation and Shelby Corporation under the purview of Tennessee, Daoud Il under the purview of Arkansas, Amir Muslimin Il Kusu Ra Kush Bay under the purview of Missouri, Asar Patah Amin Ra Bay under the purview of Ohio, Jeremy Paler Il, Terry Thorne Bay, J. McCall Brooks Bay, Joseph Kanaday Il, Kush Amir Bunch Il, Emmanuel Billings Bay, Yassin Khalik Alamin Il, Michael Curry Bay, all under the purview of North Carolina, Noble Crisco Il under the purview of New Jersey, Messiah Aziz Il and Crystal Il, both kidnapped through a joint venture between Mercer Corporation, Freehold Corporation, and Trenton Corporation under the purview of New Jersey. We're still waiting on an update regarding baby Patricia Bay, kidnapped by Atlantic Corporation under the purview of New Jersey. Eldridge Terran Fisher Il, Marquis Sevion Il under the purview of Indiana. Solomon Il Bay, and Mumi Abube under the purview of Texas, William Barrett Ill under the purview of Virginia, Bomani Abidwil Ill, kidnapped by Chesapeake Corporation under the purview of Virginia, Che Ray Bay under the purview of West Virginia, Thomas Lee Bay under the purview of California, Victor Eduardo Aguaye Juarez Ill, kidnapped by Harlem Corporation under the purview of Georgia, Natro Tahuti Ill, kidnapped by Benner Corporation under the purview of Pennsylvania, Rennie Bay, kidnapped by Hamilton Corporation under the purview of, Hamilton, Ontario Corporation under the purview, well, actually, it's Hamilton Corporation. The state would be Ontario, and that's that would be a union state, and it's on American soil that is referenced as Canada. And last but not least, Brian George Mills Bay, kidnapped by the employees working through Glades Corporation under the purview of Florida. Thank you very much. All right, Islam, and welcome to Moore's MHHS Eyes Wide Open. This is your host, Anna Ida L., along with my co-host, Ms. Raima Aleph L.
Yes, indeed. Peace and love, Anna E. Peace and love, Ma Cujo, Moors worldwide, listeners worldwide. Thankful to be here on MHHS Eyes Wide Open.
All right.
Tuesday session, Principles of Nationality in Action. Let's go.
And Rosa Mariah Bay.
Islam, peace and love to all.
And Cujo Adwa L.
Peace and love, Moors, Islam, to all the hosts. Peace and love.
All right, Islam. Before we get started, want to let our internet listeners know the chat room is open. And big shout out to our family listening over there near the corporate construct known as Great Britain. Islam to you. And thank you for joining us over there at 2 o'clock in the morning. Islam. Islam to our family listening over near the corporate construct of South Africa. Islam to the family listening over near Japan. Islam to the family listening over near the corporate construct known as the Netherlands. Islam, Brother Al-Bassett. And congratulations and Islam to you for being liberated from that institution. I trust that you'll be a little bit more freer in your moving about and your studies. Islam to the family listening near the corporate construct of the Philippines. There was someone else. Oh, my gosh. that I wanted to send a shout-out to. It'll come to me in a second.
Was it Barbados? Did you mention Barbados?
No. It was somewhere over in, around the European area, the Europa area. But I can't remember right now. Bangladesh. Islam.
All right.
Over there, Bangladesh. Islam to you.
Wasn't expecting that.
No. This is the uniting of Asia. For real.
Yes, it is. All
the
family over there, Islam, yes. Of course, family listening near the corporate construct known as Barbados, Islam, Trinidad and Tobago, Islam, Jamaica, Islam, Panama, Islam to you, brothers out there. Well, actually, families, brothers and sisters out there. There's a Panama corporation, Islam. Let's see, what else? Barbados, Trinidad, Tobago, Jamaica, Cuba, Brazil, Mexico, and Venezuela. To family that we have yet to connect with. Islam, thank you for listening via the internet. And sometimes we have families who will call in from around the world. Islam to you, to our callers. Islam to you, man. Thank you so much for calling in, filling up the phone lines before the broadcast even begins. Thank you so much. Also for lending us your energy, for providing information, for building, growing, so that we can, each and every one of us, uplift fallen humanity, starting with ourselves. Islam, Islam, Islam. All right.
Yeah.
Before we get started tomorrow, there will be class at the National Theater. And it will be with our etymologist, Abdullah El Talib Mosley Bey. Did I say it right this time?
You did.
Thank goodness, Islam. So make sure and check us out. Doors open at 6:30. Class begins at 7:30. And I believe that's it. So let's get right into our subject matter of today's broadcast. Broadcast is entitled, You Must Know Who Your Family Is, and that family is based on bloodline, not commerce or a commercial process. There are those who attempt to slander other family members who provide information designed and in harmony with what Prophet Noble Ali brought to uplift fallen humanity. It must be known that birthright and nationality is not a commercial activity. Therefore, any process involving a commercial process is absolutely out of order, out of harmony, and we must know who our family is and stop following processes of a foreign corporation, this corporation being adopted by our ancestors in order to have safe passage and living on our ancestral estate, national domicile. We Moors must wake up. That is the syllabus and the topic of today's broadcast. And it brings to mind, because, we have these processes that people are like ramming down unconscious Moors' throats. I mean, literally ramming it down their throats in some form or fashion, getting them to participate in something that is devoid of national standing and bloodline. This is all about bloodline. Listen, this is all about bloodline. The highest ranking of people is people who have a nationality. That nationality ties them to a bloodline. Our bloodline is ancient. And being that it is ancient, it ties us to a history that spans eons of time, or I should eons, not necessarily of time, because there really is no such thing as time, but it spans eons, and it brings us back to it actually brings us back before, if you understand the secret teachings of John in harmony with the first chapter of the Holy Quran, it brings us back to us being formed in the flesh, prior to being formed in the flesh. And that is our heritage. That is, if whatever you are about is not tying you into a bloodline that goes back to the very beginning of the creation of man, then, you know, you're dealing in a world of commerce, especially this world of commerce that is being promoted today, that is so modern. All right? It is so modern. So it's really bringing you back to being Negro, colored, black, having no family bloodline, no lineage, and absolutely not tied to the ancestors. You're not a part of those people who have been already acknowledged by the United Nations as the oldest people on planet Earth. Who might those people be? The Moors, or some sort of a lineal descendant of Moors or Moroccans born in America. That's all there is. There is nothing else. What's going on today, I remember hearing about similar processes. When I came into this information in 2008, I remember being told that there were people who were very much into claiming their nationality through the first declaring, which means just to be clear, and then proclaiming, which means now you're making a public announcement. It's an announcement. It's not, I need you to recognize me. It has nothing to do with I need you to recognize me or validate me or confirm that what I'm saying is correct. No one can confirm or deny your bloodline. No one. Right. It is what it is. And one of the challenges we have as a people on this landmass is that we're the only who don't recognize that your bloodline is not up for discussion or debate. We're the only people on this landmass that have that challenge, because our family that come from outside of this landmass, that's not even a question that's up for debate. It's like it's not even on the table for discussion, because they know it's all about bloodline. It's all about bloodline. It's not about a piece of paper. It's not about a national identification card. It's not about anything of a corporate nature. So back in 2008, people were, modern Europeans had found out, they had come up with this plan to submit UCC filings to somehow claim the ancestral estate of our foremothers and forefathers. This is what they came up with as a way to claim our land. Well, they found out through the United Nations, no less, that they're not the Aboriginal indigenous people, so they cannot claim the land, and that the rights of indigenous people and is not for that. They found this out, and so they got rid of the whole UCC process because it didn't facilitate what they were attempting to do. So when they threw it away, Moors went and picked it up, and somebody started promoting, you don't have to declare or proclaim your nationality. You can just file a UCC-1 and you get all this stuff. Yep. And so a lot of people started abandoning the true process that the prophet brought them. There's a lot of feedback. And they felt that they started utilizing this UCC process, and they found out after a time that it didn't do any of the things that they were either informed or misinformed that it would do. Over the years, There's been one process after another, after another, after another, after another, and we're constantly, what we do is we just give you information. We're not telling you to do anything that you are not comfortable doing. I tell people all the time, don't do nothing, don't change nothing. Just recognize your bloodline and then study. Study, 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 study. And then what you want to do is you make a list of the things that you want to change. You come up with a strategy, a plan, and you have a backup plan. And you do the simplest thing to the most, and you don't start more than one process, one correcting of anything. You do one, complete it, and then you move on to the next item on your list. This is what I have always told people, and I've always told people, whatever I say, not only am I giving you reference and source, I'm coming with documentation, because in law, whatever your claim is, you must have supporting verifiable documentation to substantiate it. My position has always been about family. It's always been about bloodline. I've never told anyone that you can go and buy a car, you can go and buy a house, you can get all these Federal Reserve notes, you can live free, you don't have to pay any utilities. I'm not saying that you can't do those things, because we are the Aboriginal indigenous people, lineal descendants of Moroccans born in America. But what I'm focusing on and what I talk to people about is this is your nationality, this is your bloodline. If you can get that down pat, if you can comprehend that, then whatever you want to do from there still involves study, still involves law, but it has nothing to do with commerce, and it absolutely has nothing to do with members of the United States of America, because that group of people are only here by the grace of our ancestors. So why in the world would I follow any process that they have put out as it relates to my ancestral lineage? Why would I do that? They have nothing to do with that. All right? So we have to think about it, and I understand that if we watch and pay attention to what's going on in the world around us today, you should be aware, everything is getting real tight, meaning it is closing in that nationality is the order of the day. And as much as these modern Europeans under the United States of America, as much as they might want to yakety-yak, all they want to, all of this yakety-yak-yakking that they're doing and the stirring up of the pot that they're doing is bringing it closer to the fact that everyone must declare their nationality. Everyone must declare their nationality. They are inadvertently bringing us to that crossroads right now. It's a matter of time before you're going to have to profess your nationality, your national standing. And let me tell you something, baby. It ain't going to be Negro, colored, black, African American, or Indian. And if you say any of those things, then what you have just said is that you are not, there's only two families on planet Earth, two human species on planet Earth. You have modern Europeans and you have Asiatics. It don't matter what your tribe name is. It don't matter what your family name is. It doesn't matter what part of the geographical planet Earth you were birthed from your mother, near, at, in. The bottom line is there are only two families, two human species on this planet Earth, and you can only be a part of them. If you're Asiatic, you can only be a part of the Asiatic family, and if you're a modern European, you can only be a part of the modern European family, but you can't swap. Just like you got dogs and you got cats. Cats can't be a member of the dog family. I don't care how much you want to be in love with them or in life with them or see a member of the dog family. It's never, ever, ever going to happen. No matter what you think, what you believe, you can kumbaya all you want to. Dogs will be dogs and cats will be cats. Asiatics will be Asiatics. Modern Europeans will be modern Europeans. We can choose to get along all we want to, but there will never be the mixing of the family, ever. And if there is, well, now you got a third human species. That's it, and that is all. Now, last I want to say that we've been doing a lot of researching since this whole election thing came on, and we've learned, we've affirmed a lot of things that we learned in our analysis of the American Constitution, 1791, and we have some clarity on some things that we learned. And one of the things that we learned was that the United States of America has established a bunch of agencies that they are in charge of. One of those agencies is the Department of State. So now, as an Aboriginal Indigenous being who has declared your national standing, the first thing that you're going to want to do when you're comfortable, when you have some information, is put the Department of State on notice. That's a legal and lawful notice proclamation. That's all there is to it. You're not asking them for nothing. You're letting them know, hey, I woke up, I realized that there's been some miscomprehension, there's some misunderstanding, and I need to correct it, and this is my documentation to correct our relationship. We don't have one. We're not the same family. I can never be a part of your nation. You can never be a part of my nation. I didn't have this information. I have it now. I'm making the correction. That's all it is. The name correction and proclamation is not a contract. Not a contract. And we strongly, strongly, strongly suggest that people read it and study it. Put the word so that you can know. We're not telling you to go and do this in the blind, dark. We're telling you to know what you're getting into like you would do for anything, I trust. If you're going to buy a car, you're going to go do the research. This is so much more important than a car. I would trust that you're going to at least read the document so that you will know it is so not a contract. It's not a contract. It is a public notice, legal, lawful notice, proclamation. And it says that. It says it right on there. Look it up in the Black Law Dictionary. You know what? Do we have those definitions on the website?
I have some definitions.
For the lawful notice and the proclamation?
On the proclamation page of the website, I believe I put the definition of what a proclamation is when all of the states came and made a proclamation acknowledging.
All right.
I'll double check and make sure it's there.
All right. Yeah. Now, this is simply what it is. What it is, it's simply a public notice. A public notice. All right? That's all it is. It is telling. It is making a public notice, public declaration, proclamation. It is declaring, hey, I'm going back to my family. I am changing my allegiance back to my family, not these foreigners that I was never a part of, can never be a part of. My family. I'm changing. Mm-hmm. I am affirming my allegiance because you really never changed your allegiance. You just never affirmed it. Well, now you're affirming it.
Right.
All right. So there can be no question where your allegiance lies. Muhammad Ali even did, I'm not saying he did the name correction or proclamation, but he put his title on his appellation. It's Muhammad Ali. That's the title, Ali. And he made he pledged his allegiance to his family. So when these foreign modern Europeans came along talking about, hey, I need you to fight for our family, he was like, I'm not having that. I'm not doing that. I'm not fighting for you. You're not my family. And as a matter of fact, he has never done anything good for me. Why would I go and fight on behalf of you?
Right.
All right?
Right.
You know, that right there, when he changed his name from Cassius Clay to the title Muhammad Ali, that was a public proclamation. He did it in the public. You can go back and listen to the newscast. They tried to call him Cassius Clay. He said, I don't know who that is. I am Muhammad Ali. This is what he said. You can go for the public proclamation right there. All right? Now, everybody can't get in front of a news channel like that and make a public proclamation. What's the next best thing? A written proclamation. Was he making a contract with NBC or CBS just because he said that? No. He made a public proclamation. I have made public. You go into any one of these venues and they say, who are you? And you say, I am Anahita Ill or whatever it is. You just made a public proclamation. But everybody ain't, everybody's not in that type of a venue. And you don't have to be. So the next best thing is a written public proclamation. You're putting people on notice. I have sent information all over creation because I have had issues. But here's the thing that people, I didn't have no issue until I proclaimed my nationality. Baby, you was just a number waiting to happen because to these modern Europeans, you're nothing more than a revenue generator because you are tied to the land.
Oh,
you're the only people that is tied to the land. They look at you as a revenue generator. You're just a number waiting to happen. And here's the other thing, because let's back it up a little bit. People are saying, oh, I didn't have any problems until I declared my nationality. Really? So you haven't been paying taxes to a foreign people. So you haven't been paying electricity and gas to a foreign people for your own resources that's free out of the earth. You haven't been paying for groceries that's falling off a tree free from the earth. All right? You haven't been compelled to get a driving instrument, register your personal property, and get insurance as though you have a boat and are engaging in maritime affairs. You haven't been compelled to do any of that stuff? You know, people need to wake up and evaluate what is being said to them and just what type of a situation you are in. Because whether somebody put hands on you physically or not, we are all being robbed. All right? You got the silent robbers and you got the flat-out obvious robbers, but we are all being robbed. We're being robbed of the ability to live in peace and harmony with no fear. We're being robbed of the ability to spend time with our family and our loved ones. We're being robbed of the ability to just have the time to study and know who the hell you are. There's so many things that we are being robbed of, and you want to sit here and say, oh, I ain't never had a problem until I declared my nationality? Really? Wake up, you sleepy-headed Moor, and stop falling for the oath dope. And this is the last thing I want to say. There's going to be some people that come to you, and they're going to bum rush you into making a decision. They're going to make you fearful. They may even ridicule you and make you feel stupid because you don't know how to read. Let's be real. These modern Europeans have
has made it so many of us, we don't know how to read, and you shouldn't be ashamed of that. That's not your fault, but you can fix it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's up to you to fix it. There are people who are going to make you feel fearful. When I came into this information, I had people telling me stuff that I felt like I was going to have a heart attack. I was afraid to go out because I just knew somebody was going to jump on me because I had contracts out there that I didn't know about. I was terrified. I thought one of these contracts was going to snatch me up and I was going to disappear. I was having heart palpitations until, thanks to Rise and Charge, they sat me down. They had me go and look up the words that are on the RVJ website. They wasn't on there when I came. There was no website when I came into this, all right? But the words that I looked up are on the RVJ publication website. And I looked up every single last one of the words under their watchful eye, and I read the definitions, and I saw in the reading of the definitions that I was being played.
Yep. Wow.
I was being played because of my fear. And that day, my fears ended. That's what studying will do for you. That's why the RVJ Publications website is up there. Because if it wasn't up there, you wouldn't even know the words to go look up and read. Well, now it's up there. You would have to catch Rise or Taj or myself or somebody who has been given these words, and because everybody was having heart palpitations. People coming out with processes every freaking week. And it was making you feel like, there's a number on your back. There's a dart on your back, or one of those circles with a hole on your back, and somebody's gonna throw a dart and it's gonna catch you. You better watch out. And God help you if you had children, because it wasn't just if you're a mother and you got a dart on your back, you're wondering about your children too. I was in fear, and going through those words got rid of my fear. That's why we tell you study, study, study. Because if you don't, you're going to get, and let me tell you what I have noticed. From 2008 to 2017 Gregorian calendar year, there's only two things happen to people who get played. You either get strong and continue, or you fall off the mat. We don't ever hear from you or see you ever again. We don't know what happened to you, and it ain't because the dark got you, per se. It's because you got played, and you didn't recover from it. Those are the only two options. I am so thankful that I recovered from being played, and I'm here to talk about it today. And between 2008 and 2017 Gregorian calendar year, I have learned a lot of stuff. I have repelled a lot of people under this United States of America and all the various processes that they try to put you under. I have repelled many of them because of this information right here. I can tell you that I am living proof that this information, it is absolutely on the money. What is it on the money about? It's on the money about commerce and commercial processes. Hell to the no. It's on the money about bloodline, national standing, and nationality and family. And if you're not down with family, well, then I guess you're going to get played by commercial processes every day. That's why it's up to you to study. It's up to you to research everything that you are being told. Somehow, some way, buddy up with somebody who knows how to read. If you don't know how to read, do something, because there are vultures out there who will play you, whether they're Asiatic or modern Europeans. They're just laying in wait for you. They was laying in wait for you before you decided to declare your nationality. They're going to be laying in wait for you after you declare your nationality. So this national standing and declaring of the nationality, it's not, oh, now that I declared it, all this stuff is happening. It was happening before you declared it. You was just asleep. Now you're a little bit of awake. Now you're just a little awake. You're aware that you've been played. So the order of the day is bloodline, family, nationality, and the call is to wake up, you sleepy-headed Moor. Islam.
Islam. Wow. I just right, and we bring this up. When you had mentioned that the simplicity of the judicial notice and proclamation is a simple lawful notice. Now, people who don't study are not going to know that and allow other people to tell them that it is a contract. And then they look at the birth certificate, which is a corporate instrument that is not you and is toxic and is proof of human trafficking, and they think they have to get out of that. But we've gone over that so many times. But one of the reasons that this is coming up is because some people are out there, and they're actually having some other Moors who have proclaimed without reading without reading it and without having an understanding of what it is, they're sending back to us, and I don't even know what to call this. It's so frivolous. Like, we had it happen before because we talked about it. As if I don't even know what they're really doing. Making us responsible because we are a 501c3. We are not a 501. No, they're assuming that we are a 501c3. We're not. So whoever's telling them that is not telling them the truth, and that we are, the cards that we offer are from the MST of A. No, if you went to an MST of A, you would get a membership card. These cards are not the MST of A card. So we looked at it like this stuff is frivolous, so we never really paid any attention to it because it has no validity. It's so frivolous. It's not like they're like charging us. It's somebody out there that is twisting the minds of especially the new people or the people who are waking up, as you mentioned, a little bit waking up. And just like they push them towards commercial processes because that takes them away from actually declaring their nationality, which is ultra important in these days and times that we're in right now. So they push them towards believing that the proclamation or judicial notice is a contract. It is not that. You just said that. Like, look up lawful notice. They don't say that about any other proclamations, but they want to say it about this one. And then they make them think that we are putting it in our trust. They say all of these things because the people that are coming to them, we don't have a trust, by the way, but this is what they tell them, and they believe it. Now, we are coming to find that this one person that we think this is coming from obviously has some sort of issue, and so they're telling all these people to put a claim and return their stuff to us and, blame us for why they, for the first time ever, got in trouble or whatever, or what they call trouble. And then we're coming to find that this person is using these people that are new, misinforming them, and trying to set up something where, where we are, I don't even know how to explain this, because what is stated inside it, none of it is truth about who we are or what we do. It's so much confusion. This is how we know it's so much confusion. The people that are coming in, they don't know Jack, apparently, and they haven't studied to know Jack. The answer to that is, as you said, Annie, at least study the subject matter of national principles before you even make a move. Maybe that would be helpful, all right? So they don't know anything. So these people out here are telling them anything, and they're believing it. They're believing it because they have not studied. Now, I feel some kind of way for the people that are coming in new. We kind of get it like, wow, that's a shame. It's not good for people to mislead them like that, But at the same time, it's not good for them, and I think you expressed it very easily. very well, it's not good for them to dive into something they haven't looked into yet. Person is trying to make some sort of claim so that everybody can join their little, what is it, a tribal nation? And it's not a tribal nation because there is no tribes that are nations. There's families / tribes under the nation. And in doing so, they're trying to discredit a simple proclamation, judicial notice, which is the most simplest thing you can do, as Anna E. just so eloquently expressed what it is. And to convince these people that it's a contract and that we're monetizing it. They also tell them that the Constitution is voided. Now, that's your key right there. But then again, that's not the key for people coming in because they haven't studied anything to know the difference. If they would just stick with national principles, foundational, fundamental, they would be able to recognize when someone was taking them off that square. But since they haven't, they don't. So when they say to them that the Constitution is voided, everybody knows, well, not everybody, they'll tell them it's voided, and these people who don't know believe it. Now, or that it's, suspended or voided. The wording here is something about it supersedes, that the Constitution has been voided and unchallenged. What is that? You know, because just recently when the president, CEO of the USA that recently got in, tried to impede upon the right to travel of other people who are nationals who don't play this game, right? They looked at the law of the Constitution, which is not voided, and with that, it cannot do it. It cannot infringe upon those rights. So that should be enough for people to realize that it's not voided. It's just that if you put yourself in the jurisdiction of a corporation, which is what the U.S.A. is, then they'll tell you it's voided because they don't honor it. So the true violators and infringers are them, not you, by enforcing it. So everything is flipped and script. So we brought this in again because, you know, these people are sending us stuff and sending back. Look, they're sending us name corrections that we didn't even have anything to do with. They're sending us ID cards that they had made somewhere else and sending it to us as if we issued them or offered them or anyway established them, and we did it. So, you know, this person is obvious. It's clear they're not about family, because if they're against the MSTA and they're against the Great Seal and they're against RV Bay Publications, which is a publication company, right, giving information, then who are they for? If they can't find, if you can't, you know, even with the MSTAs, yeah, we know they were infiltrated and all of that, but do the study and then you can deal with these things in a proper manner. But the school or body of information that was left to be disseminated is proper information. So if these people are against the information and national principles, then the question would be, who are they really for? Not for family. So we had to bring out that this proclamation, which is a lawful notice that you make, and that the signatures are witnesses, right, and that it is under the term of lawful notice, we had to bring it out because someone's saying, oh, yeah, that's a contract. Now, these people, all they do is think of commerce. They take a load of information and throw it and try to fit it into a commercial activity. And this is all we're saying is that nobody's saying you can't do commerce or whatever you want to do with, you know, your trade or exchange, but you can't mix those two without making the distinguishment of what one is and what one is not. If someone's telling you in order to get your nationality, you got to go through a commercial process, then that's not good. That's not true. So you have to be able to keep them separate. So you must go into things, whatever you're going to go into, being who you are. So that's what you have to do first. And that is why the prophet said in his lessons that he left, if you don't do nothing else, just declare your nationality. And that is also why has been written, and it applies right now. The time has come where everyone must confess their own tongue. They must. You must. That's what's on the table today. And if you think that you attained it by a commercial process, you are going to be sorely, I want to say, jacked up. You are. And I really like the way you explained that. It's that someone had decided some years ago, hey, let's not bother with, proclaiming or declaring. Declaring meaning you're clear first, and then you proclaim, be it verbal, be it written, whatever, our nationality. We'll just go straight to the UCC and we'll get all this stuff. No. That's kind of what happened. That's the trend of what happened, and people dropped declaring and proclaiming their nationality. But unfortunately, today's climate and the way that it is and will be forevermore, because it will never be the same, you have to have that. You have to confess it. You must, because that's what this is about right now. So I just wanted to say, stop sending me these things. If somebody tells you to send this crap, really, it's so frivolous that we never even responded. But then this one person, I emailed them, and I'm like, what are you talking about? This stuff in here, it doesn't apply, So I assume that maybe some more will come if these people, whoever they are convincing the people coming in. And I don't know if you have someone that was making a comment now, but maybe they're on the line, and I'm going to yield the floor. I think maybe someone else might have a comment before you get to that person. Islam. Are you there?
Islam. Yes, I am. I was had the phone muted.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know if Ms. or Cujo wanted to say something before I bring in the brother so that he can, tell us a little bit about, what he experienced and his feelings on, at least.
Let me just add this. So that it can be real clear what that brother's going to say as well, or what that's about. There is someone out there that is telling people to make these abuses and claims against RV Bay Publications, a publication company, without even knowing who RV Bay Publications really is. But that's beside the point at this point, because all of it is frivolous. They're telling people to make a claim, a suit, or a filing, which they're not doing. But it'll be just so people will understand, which is not happening because it's so frivolous. But they're wasting your energy and your time, and, none of it holds water. So I just wanted to add that so people would be prefaced about what that is. Islam, I yield.
All righty. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to open up the line. We got Brother, let's see. Hold on a minute. The mine is Bay. I'm trusting that I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Yes, Damien. You can say Damien.
Damien. Damien Bay. Islam, Damien. Thank you so much for joining us, sharing, building, growing, so that we can all uplift only humanity. Because that's what it's all about today. It's about joining up the family so that we can all be on the same page, like our family around the world.
Islam family. Of course, I am so happy to be a part of, to be able to speak to the family and to the nation, for everybody that's listening, because I'm going to say his name. I think it's Chief Nanny, because I'm like furious that the people need to study. That's what it is, because you're going to have thousands of negative energy. That's how life is, positive energy and negative energy. And people out there are going to always have something negative when something positive is blossoming and trying to shine. And the lack of information is causing the lack of
studying, because I have to explain for all the listeners that I've been studying for the last 5 years, and the first 2, I thought I knew something. And now, everything I thought I knew then, I didn't know nothing. So for anybody that's just starting, I promise you, if you continue for the next 2-3 years, you're going to find out that you have to live being a national, to understand it, period.
Whoa.
So for you to think you're going to fill out an application or a piece of paper and find freedom, or go to somebody and find freedom, you're lost.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't you can't listen to people. What you do is you listen to the information and you study whatever they say. So if it's a problem or you hear something, do your research. Find out who MSTA is. Do your research. Contact them. Find out who they are personally for yourself, because I would. If I'm talking to you about Chief Nanny, find out who he is. Do your research.
Hold on a moment. You mean Chief Nanya? Nanya?
Yeah.
Nanya. All right. All right. So you know exactly the reason why we couldn't is because we didn't have actual first-hand knowledge. But thank you, Chief Nanya. All right. Thank you.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And I'm going to let people know, he's the one that's doing the SF-181, and he has this process. So what? Everybody has a process. Why are you discrediting your brothers? Your brothers are uplifting the nation. Why are you discrediting them? That's wrong. The information, like they said, it's a proclamation. Find out what a proclamation is. If you don't know what that is, why are you following the plan? Obviously, you don't know what it is. It's yours. It's not RV-based. That's supposed to be yours.
Thank you.
So, I mean, like, what I would suggest is, and what I learned over the 5 years of trying to help people, if they don't come to you sincere, leave them alone. Because you're just fighting negative energy. And we have a lot of work to do. A lot of uplifting positive people that's looking for positive information. Mm-hmm. Not fighting naysayers because of their own ego, which in that guy has an egotistic problem. Some people can't see themselves. A lot of people can't. He doesn't see himself. I don't blame him. I mean, if I can see him personally, I would have a problem with him, but I don't blame him for the way he is, because even our children are messed up. As you can see, all of our children are programmed messed up. So we have to, like the prophet said, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And that's how we deal with people. And we have to deal with this situation with love and try to find the positive in it to fix it. Because me personally, I really have a problem with it, because there are a lot of people, I have entered his chat room, and I'm noticing that it's people all day that come into his chat room that just signing up, and they don't know nothing. They don't know nationality. They don't know UC. Then they're going to start doing UCCs next in his program. Like, are you serious? Why do you have these people doing that?
Quick interjection.
He's not talking about, Excuse me.
That's Cujo. Cujo has a quick interjection. And Cujo, can you also add, you might want to tell people where he actually is, too, but go ahead with your interjection.
Yeah. Well, I'll save the drama. Just direct all these people to a video on YouTube.
Yes.
Called "Debris of Dirty Moors."
Degree?
Debris.
Yes.
DEBRIS.
Oh, debris. Okay. Yeah.
Debris of Dirty Moors. Just go watch that, and you'll find out what we found out about Nanya Shabu Eel.
And also, Joe doesn't he spell it? He now spells EIL, so he doesn't even want to be a part of the family. Go ahead.
EIL, right? So if it's just like you're saying, people don't study or they want to know about Moors, and they're asking niggers about Moors. Like, why are you asking them? What do they know about Moors? Like, what are they really going to tell somebody about Moors? But everybody got questions, but they always ask the black guy. They never go to a Moor and ask him. So they end up being victim. I mean, because the first rule is study, study, study. But that's the first rule. Study, study, study. So you can't be trying to do stuff and studying at the same time. It doesn't work like that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't practice and play the game. Like either you're practicing or you're in the game. Like you're not. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
yes.
And the more that, because again, this is somebody coming up again. This is not some new phenomenon of trying to divert people's attention. These are people from 5-6 years ago coming up again.
We did deal with this. Now, this brother, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm saying the brother, the maniac that's on the line, one of the things that we're figuring out that's happening now is that all of these people, because you've been on the line, that are coming in, he is trying to get them to put a claim against active Moors, really. That's really what he's doing, and he's pinpointing R.V. Bay, and he also always uses Taj's name. I think he must have some sort of vendetta with he does, but Dodge, I'm sure, doesn't with him. And he's using these people, if you can explain, he's using these people, and one of the things when they come in, first thing he has them do is send some claim or disclaim, not even disclaim, because we haven't claimed anything. You're the ones that are doing the claiming with the proclamation. That's like you just said, Dave. That's for the people. That doesn't belong to us. It belongs to you. So it seems like he's trying to build up some case or some filings or something, and he's using these innocent people and telling them from the onset to do what? To send a claim against active Moors?
But he's not going to tell them that. He's not going to tell them that FBI brought him from Atlanta to Calgary, though. How come FBI is escorting him from, like, how is it that somebody's getting an FBI escort from Atlanta to Calgary and being told, don't come back to Calgary, don't come back to Atlanta? How come? Why?
But the people on the line don't know that.
No, but and you know, if they were listening to MHHS, Canaan Land Moors, all that, they would know.
Yeah, this is going to be the last time we do this. We want to point that
they would know.
I was saying earlier, a lot of these brothers are doing a lot of these processes, and they're getting caught up. I don't know. I'm not going to vouch for what I don't know about. I don't like assuming. That's why I don't like bashing my other brothers. But the way he talks is like an agent. And like you said earlier, he's claiming someone else has a 501c3 or a company. He might have one. That's what people do when they have stuff. They point at the other person. So he has his own personal agenda, obviously. And you can, if you ever listen to him, if you just look his name up, he's on YouTube, listen. And your common sense will tell you, just listen to his aura and his personality. He's egotistic. He's like, he does this, he does that, he does. It's not you nothing. It's you nothing. He's the one that's going to free this. And, your attitude is, obviously this is you.
He never told them about when he got kidnapped that.
No, I was just going to say, he could be angry. Cujo, I want you to say that, but I want to make it clear. He could be angry because he got, like you said, well, I don't know if you're talking about the kidnapping where the FBI deported him onto from Atlanta, and he can't even come on this area of the North American continent. But these people on the line do not know that. But go ahead and talk about the kidnapping. Is that something, what you're talking about, or something different?
No, just in you know, when we look at these individuals who are trying to make a name for themselves.
All right.
Right? We have to realize these guys are the biggest losers.
Right.
Like they're the biggest losers. If people wanna, it's like back in the day. If you chill with the losers, then you're a loser.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're with the nerds, then you're a nerd. You know what I mean? Like, so these people they have loser on their forehead with a fez on, and people are still playing like they don't know. If they don't want to know, then cool. Then don't. You know what I mean? But don't come crying. Don't come crying after when they took your $3,000, your $3,000 or your $5,000 or whatever like that. Because the first rule is study, study, study. In anything, it doesn't matter. Tie your shoelace. You're gonna try that 50 times before you get it.
That's right.
50 times trying to tie your shoelace is studying.
That's right.
So it's not no advanced stuff or nothing like that. It's real simple, right? You don't do anything until you know what the hell you're doing. Well, I'm going to go to this guy. He's going to tell me what to do. Well, man knows not by being told. Well, I didn't know. Well, ignorance of the law is no excuse. Like, what do you want? What do you want?
Right. Well, with that being said, the understanding is that people are rushing to do, what's it called, the SF-181.
Yes, SF-181, yes.
All right. Now, that is not based on an anthropological study at all. It says so right on, and we did a class on that on the Wednesday class. These are classifications that are statutes. So people are rushing to do that, and they really shouldn't be dealing with that because really when you make your proclamation, your judicial proclamation, it covers all of that. You know, you don't need to use any of those listings because I think, Anna Eve, we did the class on that, and I think you did that class. We have found it. And
we did. We did, but you know what? Here's the thing. Check it out.
Yeah, mute your phone.
Hello. Everybody, what you need to do is just go and Google on your phone SF-181. And what should pop up is from the OPM Gov, Ethnicity and Race Identification, U.S. Office of Personal Management, Guide to Personal Data Standards. And then right below it, it says Form SF-181-GSA, www.gsa.gov, for use with current federal employees only.
Damn! and I understand that, they're lining up to do that with this guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, for use with federal employees only is in all caps with exclamation marks.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, and then, you know, whose form is this? Like, I thought we're not supposed to be, you know what I mean? Like, I thought we want freedom. Like, why are we going their form?
That's right.
Like they're gonna diss the proclamation, right? That says the correct status for a form that is still keeping them colored, even though it might say more or whatever on it.
No, the saddest part is I don't know why would they think that would free them. If you do that and don't have no license and go down the road to see if you don't get locked up, that's common sense. That's common sense. That was SF-181 can't free you. You don't go down the road with no license and your tax exempt. That's not a tax exempt number. What are you going to use? Like, this stuff is common sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're going to use a process, study it and know why you're using it. I mean, I think I met Todd, I think 5 years ago, when I first found out about this, and I had a sovereignty packet. I didn't know nothing about nationality. I had a sovereignty packet, and I kept handing it to him. The only thing he said to me was, he didn't talk about it. He didn't respond to it. He said, don't do nothing you don't know how to do. Study. He went back to talking about nationality. And I couldn't understand. I thought he was kind of being rude, But I got the point later on. He said it. And my friend told me, he said it, don't do nothing you don't understand. Focus on your nationality. And stop looking for the benefit, the problem. Everybody's looking for the benefit or the way out. Stop. That's not what this is. It doesn't work like that.
Yep.
That's absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. And you know what? To me, this is if you're saying, okay, this is just an analysis. You have people who come here from Japan, right? These people they're born here. They can be born on this landmass. They're still Japanese. But even if they were branded, they would never go and use documents from the United States of America family of government
that branded them.
Affirm anything about their Chinese standing. They would go to China.
Hello. Yep.
All right? They're nobody, see, this whole process that is being talked about, and there's other processes that are very similar to it, and they have different steps, but when I say it's similar, I mean it's come and go over the years. I've seen them come, and I've seen them go from 2008 to 2017. They all have the same limits. They all try to skirt around nationality.
Yep.
And every last one of them is based on commerce. Now, and see, to me, I understand why people always think, oh, well, you know, I got to go the commerce route because this is the miseducation, the misinformation, the miscomprehension. They have this presumption in their mind that they are some sort of corporate construct. And here's the problem with that. You are a flesh and blood being first and foremost. First and foremost, all right? Now, once you declare your nationality, which speaks of family, lineage, now we can talk about inheritance, because everything is about inheritance. Nobody owns nothing. Nobody owns nothing. The stuff was here first. All right? All this stuff was here first. So, and nobody today, you are not an ancestor. Well, you're an ancestor reborn, but whatever you did eons ago. And it was passed on to you, which makes you it makes you, either an heir or a beneficiary. You don't have the power to grant anything because it was everything that is here was passed on to you by the ancestor. That's why it cannot be bought, sold, or transferred because it's ancient. Now, you got people, they say, well, I don't know what family I belong to. You belong to the Asiatic family. There's only one. It's only the Asiatic or the modern European. Which one do you think you belong to?
That's right.
All right, that's all there is. All of this ethnicity. What is that? Race. What is that? What is that? What are you talking about? When you on applications, they say race, ethnicity. What are they asking you for? Race, ethnicity, citizenship, they all mean the same thing. What's your nationality?
And no one answered that.
Nobody taught all these applications. You know why they don't say it on these forms? Because these forms are bogus. Yes, these forms are all talking and speaking in terms of some sort of corporate activity. But the way you kill that, all rights reserved, you don't then go and try and implement some process that is under a colored process to begin with to show and prove that you are of a human family minus the nationality. And under the Moorish family minus the title. In the Resolution 75, there's 5 titles for representing the 5 families of the earth. Il, Bay, Day, Al, and Ali. There's no EI, and there's no Shabbat.
I got a question.
Yeah.
It's a sarcastic question to say. If you fill out your SF-181, and now what are you going to use if you did change your name because you do need a nationality card? And if you're not learning about your nationality, are you going to continue doing what? Regular commerce. You're going to still use your driver's license, still use the slave name, still do all the slave activity. Like the prophet said, he seemed like he putting you back into slavery.
That's right. That's right.
You still,
that's absolutely correct. Now I want to just I just want to put a disclaimer in here because I'm not telling anybody tomorrow or tonight burn up or cut up the driving instrument and burn up the registration and call up Geico and cancel the insurance right now. I'm not saying that. I will say I am not saying to do any of those things. What I am saying is in order for you to do anything, you need to first know what you're dealing with. All right? And then you don't want to address all 3 of those issues, boom, 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 on at the same one. It's going to be overwhelming. If you're new to this information, it's trying to address more than one issue at the same time. Let me tell you, I can tell you from experience, you don't want to do that because they already know that they have mentally conditioned us to not know how to read, not know how to write, not know how to comprehend, not know how to follow directions. So the chances of us being able to write a writ, much less address 3 issues in a writ, they're going to bombard you with an answer, and something's going to fall through the cracks. So don't ever take on more than one issue at a time. Open the door, clean out the closet, and then lock the door before you open another door. So that's all. I just wanted to put that in there because I didn't want anybody, because, a lot of our people take things literal. They'll be like, oh, and he said you're supposed to get rid of this instrument and this registration and insurance. Let me call Geico up right now and cancel this. I'm not telling you to do none of that stuff. I'm telling you, this is what I am telling you. Yes, I am telling you. Study. Study. That's if you ever hear Anna E told me to do anything, the only thing I had ever told you to do was to study. That's it. I never told you to do nothing. I told you to study, because in the studying you will then know what you can do and how you want to do it.
Can I piggyback off of that? To say,
no, you can dovetail off of that, but you can't piggyback off of that.
Okay.
All right.
I would not advise no one to get rid of their license myself, because I ran into a situation where I was using my UCCs at first, and because I kind of did do my studies, it kind of worked. And when I was going out to finally go about my nationality, I had a big problem. And I went in and out of court, and I was fighting these people in and out of court, which we have no business in their courtroom. So don't go in their courtroom arguing anything, because the moment you go in there, you lost. You have no business in there. That means you don't know what you're doing. And if you go in there speaking, that means that if they kidnap you, You should know what you're saying and know what you're doing. And if you don't, do not get rid of your license. Do not try to operate as a Moor, because you will find yourself twined if you don't know what you're doing. Because you are the god of the land, and they don't want you to know that. You have more power than you think, and they don't want things. They're gonna give it to you? No way. They lose everything. So you need to know, and then once you know, they will quietly let you go somewhere. Believe me, I've been let go numerous of times and been pulled over, and I've been taken to jail before and after because of my ego. Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Oh, yeah, they did because of my ego. And when I talked to them like with love, like I was supposed to, they actually wanted to sit down and talk to me. And it was more than one. I was uncomfortable. They didn't want to let me go. They wanted to learn because I dealt with them with love. They didn't even care about me not having a license anymore. That's the key. You have to be noble. You have to know, and then you'll be respected. If you don't know, and the cops are trained to search to know, oh, he's nervous. What you nervous about? Once they see that, oh, because they don't know what they're doing and you're nervous, they're going to get paid because that's their job. So please don't get rid of your license, even if you do get a nationality card, and you can practice with it. Practice first. Practice everything first. And when you feel like you perfected it, then you're good to go. You'll know. It's a spiritual connection. Yeah, it's a spiritual connection. So just practice everything you do first, and once you'll feel it. And once you feel it, you take your time and you move forward.
Excellent advice. Thank you.
Yes. All righty. So what we're gonna do now? It's 11 o'clock, and so we have about an hour and a half, more or less, to the broadcast. But we only have 30 minutes left to the internet feed. What that means is at 11:30, the internet feed is going to go down. If you're able to call in, you need to call 319. Hold on a minute. 319. What is that number? 319-227-6751. If you're not able to get it before the feed goes down, the internet feed goes down at 11:30, what you'll have to do is wait until 12:30, download the archive, and listen to the last hour. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some callers, and Brother Damien, we're going to leave you on the line because some people may want to ask you some questions. So,
sure.
All right. So if you have a question, a comment, or a concern, or you just want to say something, press 1 on your telephone dial, and we will begin taking callers. Alrighty. So we have callers 26721. You're live on the air. Please state your appellation and Northwest New Mexico. Islam, caller 267521. Islam, are you there?
No one's there.
Islam. All right, I guess that might have been a mistake for them. Caller 972-839, you're live on the air. Please state your appellation at Northwest New Mexico.
Islam. I am Abdul Malik Shakur Bey. I'm calling from Northwest New Mexico, Texas Territory. I'd like to give a shout out to Anani, Rosman Ra, Ms. Brown and Cujo. And your guest is on the line tonight is very interesting. First of all, I'd like to say, to whoever this so-called imposter is that going around saying that, you know the old song we were on, stick and stone to break my bone, but rhyme the word can never hurt me. Go study. Go get your education. I'm going to read something out of Circle 7. It's called The Instability of Man. Inconsistency is the power in the heart of man. Intemperance swears it whether it will. Despair engrosses much of it, and fear proclaimeth, behold, I sit unaware therein, but vanity is beyond them all. Weep not, therefore, at the calamities of the human state, rather laugh, at its follies. In the hands of the man addicted to vanity, life then is but the shadow of a dream. The hero, the most renowned of human character, what is he but the bubble of this wickedness? The public is unstable and ungrateful. Why should the man of wisdom endanger himself for fools? The man who neglected his prime concerns to resolve how he will behave when greater feedeth himself with wind, while his bread is eaten by others. Act as becometh thee in thy present station, and in more exalted ones thy face shall not be ashamed. What blinded the eye, or what hideth the heart of a man from himself? Like vanity, lo, when thou seest not thyself, then others discover thee most plainly. As the tulip that is gaudy without smell, conspicuous without use, so is the male who setteth himself up so high and hot, not merit. The heart of the vain is troubled, while it seemeth content. His cares are greater than his pleasure. His solitude cannot rest with his bones. The grave is not deep enough to hide it. He extended his thoughts beyond his being. He bespeaketh praise to be. Paid. When he's gone, but whosoever promised it deceiveth him, as the man who engages his wife to remain in widowhood, that she disturbeth not his soul. So does he who expected that his praises shall reach his ear beneath the earth. Cherish his heart in the stroll. Do well while thou live, but regard not what is said of it. Content thyself with deserving praise, and thy posterity shall rejoice in hearing it. As the butterfly who seeth not his own colors, as the jasmine which filleth not the scent it chases it around, so is the man who appeareth gay, and abideth others to take note of it. To what purpose, says he, is my virtue of gold? To what end are my tables filled with dainties, if not eyes glazed upon them? If the world knows it not, give thy raiment to the naked, and thy food unto the hungry. So shalt praise and feel that thou deservest it. Why bestowest thou in every man the flattering of unmeaning words? Thou knowest, when returneth thee, thou regardest it not. Who knoweth he lieth upon thee? Yet he knoweth thou wilt thank him for it. Speak in sincerity, and thou wilt hear with instructions. The vain delighted to speak of himself, but he seeth not that others lack not to hear him. If he had done anything worth praise, if he possessed that which is worthy of admiration, his joy is to proclaim it, his pride to hear it reported. The desire of such a man defeated itself. Men say not, behold, he had done it, or see, he possesseth it, but mark how proud he is of it. The heart of man cannot attain at once too many things. He who fixes his soul on show, lucid reality. He pursueth bubbles which breaketh in their flight, while he threads to earth what would him lay his honor. He who speaketh falsely against those who are trying to uplift fallen humanity. He who guards on his dainties in his heart and the devil work that his tongue fled the multitude will only find a grave, and wickedness belies his path. Islam, I relate the flow.
All right, Islam.
Thank you for that.
All right, our next caller. 860944. You are live on the air. You state your appellation and the next.
That his tongue fled the multitude will only find a grave, and wickedness belies.
I don't think you muted him.
All right. No, that's different. I think that's delayed. Anyways, caller 717-839. You're live on the air. Please state your appellation at Northwest Mexico.
Islam family. I am Yusuf Nasir Bey.
Islam.
Calling from Northwest Mexico, Mount Airy Territory, North Carolina State Republic. I just want to give high honors to R.V. Bey Publication, Cujo Alawael, high honors to Cujo Grand Sheik. I have yet to press hands with you, Mother Roz, and you, Anna Eda L. I've met Cujo, I've met Taj, and a couple other good Moors. And I give all the credit to R.V. Bey Publications. You know, when I'm sharing information, instead of trying to be the know-it-all guy, and I give it to R.V. Bey Publications. You know, I have a niece that, you know, I haven't seen in a few years, and I just thought about her one day, a couple of days ago, and I looked her up on Facebook, and I seen that she was waking up. So I shared her R.V. Bey Publications, and it felt good to me that I know that when I shared her rvbaypublications.com, that you know how you can give somebody some information and they instead of looking and doing the work, they keep calling you and calling you. This young lady has not called me not one time, and it lets me know that she's on it. And I give high honors and praise to R.V. Bey Publications, and I'm the number one advocate because everything I deal in, I let them know rvbaypublications.com. And I like to thank you, Cujo, for uploading the video to YouTube. You know.
No worries, Mark. No.
Yeah, because. Excuse me.
No, it's all good. Our space is your space.
Oh yes. Thank you. I love it, man. It's the best thing, you know, to be able to talk to family that really care and want the best for our people as a whole. And I'm not going to hold up the line. I just wanted to just give my honors and thanks and gratitude to rvbaypublications.com. Islam, everybody.
Islam is nice.
I yield the floor. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Wow. That was great. Mm-hmm.
All righty. Thank you so much for that call. And let's see. All right. Caller 706-424. I'm not sure if I took this already, but Islam caller 706-424. Alrighty. Caller 215-939. You're live on the air. Please state your appellation at Northwest Mexico.
Islam. I am Camille Ali Bey, Northwest Mexico, Philadelphia Territory. I'm the son of Asim Ali Bey. I'm the son of Tressa L. over in Arizona Territory.
All right.
Samuel.
How you feeling, Miz? How you feeling, Cujo? Sister,
Mother
Rise, Mother, in the ear. How you guys doing today, this evening?
All right.
All is well.
Well, I just, Brother Damien, while you're on the phone, first off, appreciate everything that you were saying. I just had a question to you about how you said don't get rid of the license. I kind of found that to be a little shaky sometimes. If you could clarify that a little bit more, because I see sometimes, using my travel card or, well, not me, other Moors, I've seen go into certain venues or handle certain matters, and when the policy enforcers come up to them and that type of thing, they try to use their government name, and since they still have that license, they tie that name back. They tie that matter back to that license, or tie that name back to the jurisdiction that they have of it. So if you don't get rid of it, from my point of view, if you could correct that, like if you don't get rid of it, you're still tied back to that jurisdiction.
Well,
I would like to answer. You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct, and that's very dangerous for you to have that ID on you if you are completely done with your process and you understand what you're doing. Then you would not have that on you, because they will tie you back. I was speaking for those that are new and that are just learning and they don't totally understand yet. You shouldn't just say, okay, I'm going to get rid of my ID card and just walk with this, because they're going to try you. Then they're going to take you to court. Then you're going to have to argue and fight. And if you don't know what you're doing, even though you did everything you think you did correctly and you don't know it within yourself, you're going to jail.
Well, no, I wasn't saying like carrying the license on you. I had a friend, I didn't want to say his full appellation online without his consent.
You don't need to.
But, right.
No, you don't need
to. He was dealing with the matter. However, when he was kidnapped and taken away and fingerprinted everything, I guess what we used to call the government name came back and tied in, and then they tied him into that. And instead of the 24-hour questioning period, they ended up trying to sentence him under that juristic name.
Correct. That happened to me before myself.
Yeah.
And that happened to me myself. So I totally understand that. This is why I say, if you don't know what you're doing, you shouldn't even have two different appellations, because they're going to say that one of the appellations is a AKA.
Right.
So if you do not know how to stand, period, then you should just wait. Keep your driver's license so you don't go through the misconstruction and the trouble until you know within yourself spiritually that when someone pulls you over, that you can communicate with that person where they can understand.
Absolutely.
Right. That's where X-Rail comes in and everything.
Absolutely.
That's right. Now,
right.
You're absolutely correct, because it's all about how well can you defend that position, because, and I always like to use the example of Walmart because it's excellent. You think if the owner of Walmart is Sam Walton, do you think he's not walking? I mean, he's transformed. Do you think he was not walking around with documentation that addressed Walmart and Sam Walton?
Right.
He was.
Right.
However, he knew how to defend both. For example, around with information on me, myself, my clients, my mother, my father. So you could take your pick which one you going to put on me as an AKA. You see, just because you walking around with something on you don't mean that's who you are.
Right. Absolutely.
You are whoever you say you are. And no municipal corporation can say otherwise, even if they kidnap you and put you in prison. It doesn't change the fact that you are who you say you are. But this is where we are when it comes to the right to travel. Actually, all of the things that the employees of these municipal corporations are engaging in, the way that they make finance, people, y'all need to get that report that the Justice Department did on Ferguson, as well as, what was that other place? There's like 3 justice reports on these municipal corporations and how they're using the people to generate revenue. This is documentation, all right? So it is a known fact that these municipal corporations are using the people to generate revenue. Why aren't the people suing them? Now, I know that we hear people, well, I don't know how. You know what? People better learn how to go, just go with it. You gonna have to figure it out. Ain't no classes for this. You don't have to go. Look, I did it too. There was nobody to walk me through it. But I'm gonna tell you what really helped me. I've been studying all my life. So when I got into this information, I was already a studier. They said study the Constitution, it's the supreme law of the land. Let me tell you, that Constitution, it is the supreme law of the land. Let me tell you how strong that Constitution is. It's so strong that when you use it in your brief, nobody wants you to come in their door and talk to them. But if you start talking about commercial activities, they will say, come right on in, because now we can talk. We can rake you over the coals, because here's what many people don't seem to realize. If you're implying that this is a commercial activity, you better be able to say, yep, there is. It is a commercial activity, and there's a contract, and I have full knowledge of it, and I know all the terms and conditions, and I'm fully aware of the contractual obligation we both have. I want to say this again because I don't want nobody to be confused. If you are walking in talking about commerce, the assumption is you have a contract with whomever you are going to talk to. All right? Now, most people are walking in there talking about, I ain't got a contract. But if it's commerce, there has to be a contract. So if you're saying it's commerce, there is a contract, but I don't have a contract, that's incompetent.
But they will 730
your behind in a heartbeat.
But don't they use the birth certificate? But don't they use the birth certificate?
That's right. But the birth certificate, it is a commercial transaction, but it is prima facie evidence of human trafficking. If you walk in and say, here's the birth certificate, we got a contract, yep, now I'm the owner of the birth certificate, let's talk about the terms and conditions, they're going to be like, what you mean, let's talk about the terms and conditions? If there's a contract, you're already supposed to be aware of the terms and conditions. But you never walk.
So what you're saying, I mean, so people think they're going to void it and use it at the same time somehow. I don't know.
The only thing that you can do with that birth certificate is prove human trafficking. Because here's the thing: when you go to open a bank account, they say that you have to have people. We need to get in the habit of challenging the things that are said to us. All right? They have birth certificate. Why? I'm standing right here. What is a birth certificate that a piece of paper going to do that I'm standing right here can't do? Or we have to make sure that you are who you say you are. Oh, wait a minute. See, I don't know, but that's insulting to me because that sounds like you're trying to say I'm lying. Where's the evidence that I am lying? You ain't just going to look me in my face first time you see me and say, well, you might be lying about your identity. And so what if I am? Aren't you getting paid anyway? I can come up in there and say I'm Humpty Dumpty, and so what? You're going to get paid anyway. You work for me. I don't work for you.
I mean, that's...
A broker, when you go to the bank, they are brokering a transaction on your behalf. That means they work for you. According to the Federal Reserve Corporation, for brokering that transaction for you, they can take 6%, but they flip it. They give you 6% and keep 94%. I'm not saying you should go in there challenging in all of this, that particular portion of it. What I'm saying is everywhere we go, these corporations, they're always trying to get you to give them a document that shows that your nationality is a corporation. People on a whole need to get into the habit of challenging that. Now, I'm not saying being belligerent, all right? I'm saying, look, I don't care. Sometimes I would just make a phone call just to gather information. I ain't trying to get an account. I'm not trying to get driving insurance, but I have called the Department of Motor Vehicle, and I have asked them questions about where can I find the law to give me more information about this whole driver's license process. Don't nobody know where it is. You know why? Because it doesn't exist. Everything is done on presumption. They presume that nobody is ever going to ask them. No, and nobody does. How many people found out about this driving instrument because they studied?
Mm-hmm. And you're saying that, I'll just interject. She's saying that no one's going to ask about the driver's program because it actually is a program from the Department of Transportation, and the rules, regulations, and the things that are in it do not apply to the natural people. But no one knows that. That's why she's saying we don't ask questions about it. We don't, where it comes from, what it does, and if you did, we would be out of this thing very easily. But I'll give the floor. Go ahead, brother.
Like I was saying about the driver's license, same thing with the birth certificate. If you choose to walk in that courtroom with it, I hope you studied it front ways, backwards, left ways. Know when it was created, who created it, why they created it. Know everything about a lot of things that I don't want to get into because I don't want to take people's brain there because I don't want to give too much information where you have to study and know. If you go in there with that birth certificate because you studied it and you knew everything about the history, where it came from, how it was created, why it was created, how to use it, why you feel like using it, the way you feel like using it that day, then I promise you when you go in that courtroom, they're going to bow down to you. But if you go in there and you know you're going to go to jail that day if you don't have the driver's license and you're trying to say, well, I have a birth certificate and you don't know what it means, they're going to know that. They already know that before you came in there. And they're going to lock you up for trying them because they're sorcerers.
Well, I hear what you're saying, but I wouldn't look, the supreme law of the land is the American Constitution. It's not the birth certificate.
No, I wouldn't.
I'm just saying, because I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be some people that hear what you just said, and it's going to get misconstrued. So let me just interject here. Let me just interject right here. The supreme law of the land is the American Constitution. If you walking in talking about the Constitution, which all of these people alleged to take an oath to uphold, and Article 6 of the Constitution lets you know all of them is bound. All of them are bound by it. Now, that means that the people since they're bound to it, you need to bind them up. Just bundle them all up and hold them to that Constitution. Don't go in there trying to talk about terms and conditions or whatever regarding a birth certificate, because I'm going to tell you right now, from a municipal corporation, foreign municipal corporation on American soil, you can do the research. It's right there in their charter. The birth certificate is evidence of human trafficking. That's all it's evidence of. So now, if you have a birth certificate from wherever, look at it good and analyze it. Open up your Black Small Dictionary, analyze some of the words. What you're going to find is that that is a fraudulent, misrepresented document that speaks of one thing, human trafficking. So if you're going to do anything, you better be up in the federal court or the world court, and you better be using that document to prove human trafficking about a municipal corporation, foreign, on American soil, because anything else, they're going to claim you as property, cargo of that corporation. That's it.
Absolutely.
That's all there is.
And because of that, M.E., because you said that it is what it is, it's an instrument from a municipality, and it proves human trafficking, right? Therefore, all of those who are so steeped in contract law, it is already void because of that. There is no process to void it. And this is what people are given. Processes that are commercial processes, because that instrument is a corporate instrument, to void it when you can't say you are a national, make that claim, and not realize that that claim alone voids anything that 99.9% of everything that's out there. But you can't say you're national and then say, well, I got to void this birth certificate. When you just, as being said, if you understand what it is, you would understand that it's already void because it's an instrument that proves human trafficking. But no, people want to use it for something else, or I don't know what. You know, they bring up these processes, but most of the processes they bring up is for the purpose of voiding it, or even authenticating it. It in itself is already authenticated with whatever seal they put on it when they originated it, number one. So it's already authenticated. So then the other thing is, well, we're going to void it. It's already void if you know what it is. And so that's what all these processes are, to void something that's already void ab initio. Islam.
Also, if I could, before I yield the floor, just wanted to give a shout-out to you guys in your show, and also a shout-out to Brother Satin Bay. He has a great class and educates, uplifts fallen humanity all the time, and I don't hear his name thrown out there too much, but Brother Satin Bay, definitely want to give a shout-out to him. Islam.
Yeah, we attend classes at Philadelphia, at the York House. Islam, to him and to everyone else is doing active work. So,
all right, thank you so much for that comment.
Did you have a comment? I think you were trying to say something, or did we cover it?
Who?
I was talking to Brother Dominius. I thought he wanted to make a comment about the birth certificate or something.
No.
We covered it. Okay. All right. That's fine.
All right. Caller 910-758. You are live on the air. Please state your appellation at Northwestern Mexico.
Islam. My appellation is Frida Bay from Northwest Mexico, Fayetteville, North Carolina territory.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give honor to Brother Cujo, Mother Roz, Mother Anita L., and the guest speaker. I have a question. I've claimed my nationality recently, and I've been studying for about 2.5 years now. I worked for the 2.5 years I've been studying material, and I've been I worked for the corporation at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and I've already done like 33 years of 33 years there on the job, and so I'm looking at retirement. And I know that there are two things that I can do. I can live within the contract or terminate the Social Security Administration account number, one or the two of those. But I need some guidance because I'm looking at like 33 years. So if I terminate the Social Security account number, then my thing is everything is tied to that number. So that would mean that 33 years has like went down the drain of what I've worked for 33 years. But then looking, am I correct? Or if I live in the contract, if I live within the contract, am I straddling?
I was only laughing. I only chuckled because it's funny because a lot of these modern Europeans today, they're looking at the fact that everything they think they work for is going down the drain. So it made me kind of chuckle, that everything they thought they worked for, and everything they thought they owned, and everything they thought they had, they don't really have. I mean, you might want to comment on this because the Social Security is really like an insurance policy and I don't know. I mean, like, void of the fact that there will be no finances to give anyone because they're always spending them, and in that deficit with that. Avoid of that if anybody's relying on that. I mean, they just had that crash that they had, and a lot of people lost it. That's always there. But I don't know that because look, you can sue, be sued, be employed, and any name that you wish to. That's that's not you. But that doesn't mean right. So that's what living within the contract is. So that will have to be your decision. I'm not sure of the direction in which Social Security will find itself at. But I know several years back they said anybody at that time who was 50 or more wouldn't even see it. Because when you think about the fact that they're really kind of bankrupt in that respect, and that was kind of shown to people. So then you got to look at, so I know that they'll try to keep you tied into something. Like they create things because all of that is the corporate. That's not a government entity. That's not a government. It's not a government entity. So
I know.
Yeah, I'm going to work for the government, and the government's going to take care of me. Well, that's a wrong saying because that's really an insurance, like any other insurance policy. So whether or not they're going to have finances 10 years from now or 5 years from now, or whether they will have ripped all that off and everything, remember, all things are going to stop.
Right. That's what I know it's not guaranteed. I know that. I do know that. Mm-hmm. That is not.
Well, it isn't. And so I don't know the severity of that. Annie, do you have any comments you think will happen with that? Because it is an insurance policy once they run out of finances. Because remember.
Yeah.
Well, it's the people who work who really, the people who work and they take the finances out of their checks, that's how they get that finance. And that's why right now, they don't have a lot of it going into those accounts, and they were spending them and, investing them and lost them. So, I can't guesstimate what will happen. Do you have a comment on that, Anna E., from what you know?
Well, it's all about these things that you have had and you bought into or paid into for years. There's no reason for you to get rid of them, especially if you're about, to retire and you're looking to collect. The only thing you need to know how to do is how to sign contracts, how to sign these things. You know, as long as you're reserving your rights.
Right, and that's what I'm doing. Right. Mm-hmm.
That's right. So if you paid into this social insurance policy, then I wouldn't at this stage of the game. You know, if you're looking to collect, I wouldn't get rid of it because you've been paying into it. That's all you need to do. What I would suggest you do is get the social supposed to be doing and what it's not supposed to be doing. And if they try to give you any static, who you can go and report them to. And then if they're sending you checks, know how to sign those checks. That's it.
Okay. All right. You answered my question, and I thank you for that. But that's what I've been doing, reserving my rights when I sign. I do sign that way. Everything that I sign. Yeah. Now. Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
There is a remedy. So, like she said, if you read the Social Security or the IRS manual, and if you read it to your comfort, this is you continue doing what you do best to survive. And if you read this information and you have it to your comfort and you totally understand it without having to go to somebody, and once you can do that, there is a remedy for you to, you know, like Todd said, you have an estate, and it's a remedy. You just have to study that remedy to put things in your estate. Yes.
Got it. Well, you all have given me some answers, and I really appreciate it because I've been pondering on it. You know, where to go with it. So I will start to study, just like you all always say. And got to continue to study. I know. Like I said, I've just been in it for 2.5 years, so there's always something I'm learning new and new. You know, every day, learning. So I want to thank you all for RV Bay publication site, and I can't thank you enough, and for everything that you all do, because it sure does, it makes a difference. It does. Islam.
Thank you.
It's
all right.
Thank you.
Islam.
All right.
Have a good night.
Where is it?
I don't know. I haven't heard from him. What did he do? Is he on the line?
He dropped off. I just see he dropped off, and he probably ain't gonna get back in because it's after 11:30 unless you bring him in.
I'll see if I can do that.
All right. Yeah, and I'll take the next caller. Caller 972-839. You're live on the air. Please state your appellation at Northwest Mexico. Islam? Already nothing. Islam, Cujo, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, all right. I wasn't sure. All right. Let's see. 972 is not talking, so I'm going to go to 860-944. You're live on the air. Please state your appellation at Northwest Mexico. Why do I feel like I'm repeating something? Okay. They're not talking. All right, caller 215-939. You're live on the air. Please state your appellation at Northwest Mexico.
Islam, you already had me on, brother.
All right. All right, caller 706-424. You're live on the air. Please state your appellation at Northwest Mexico. Islam, caller 706-424. righty. Caller 805-910. You are live on the air. Please state your appellation at Northwest of Mexico.
Islam. My name is Sister Indigo. Islam. All praise is due to Allah, to Noble Drew Ali, who brought this measure to all of us, so we may have a better understanding of our civic life and as nobles in the national nation of the Moors. I want to give a thanks to Ras Mariah, Anaid Cujo, and the guest speaker. My purpose for calling today was actually by confirmation of Brother Cujo. He suggested that I call in because I had an issue with my nationality card request when I sent it in November, I believe, of this past year. And there was a discrepancy, and I was livid at a certain point because I felt like I wasn't getting the professionalism, I guess, that I may have expected. After speaking to him, he gave me an insight on how operations may or may not go and how our expectations may not be in matching with that. So I have a little bit more, I would say, humility with regard to it and a little bit more compassion. So I'm calling because I want to get a matter straight, and I want to have a better understanding as to how things go so that in the future, if I send someone or if I make an order, I'm clear on how things are done for the benefit. For over 4 years now, I've been reading R.V. Bey Publications information. I've been following and listening to Taj Tariq Bey and all of the other students associated with fervor. And I'm always in defense of the truth. So when I run across, a lot of the negativity that I've received, that I hear from people, I'm quick to set them straight, even though I'm not a part of the round table and I'm not associated with the school, because I found the information to be true. So when I had my experience, I was really disappointed. I was so disappointed that I can't even explain it. It was just so heart-wrenching for me. And when I inquired in my email as to whom I was speaking to, the individual said that this is just by my perception, because I wasn't able to speak to the person live. It was only through email. And so I didn't know really who I was speaking to. Was the person admitted or said that they were Ras Mariah, and I was furious. I said, "Oh my God, who is this?" And I was like, "If this is who it is, I don't even understand." So my tone was this disappointment because I wasn't sure, and maybe I had a higher expectation. So I'm going to leave with asking the question: if you can explain what the process is for requesting a nationality card. Number one. Number two. When requesting a nationality card and a person has an appellation, initially we may say it's a name because that's what most people know it to be, but an appellation is absolutely different from that. What makes an appellation appropriate for a national identification card, and what makes one not? That would be my first two questions, and then from there I'd like to find out what the end result would be and how I can resolve my matter. Islam?
What did you say, Annie?
What was your issue? Is my question. I mean, this is Annie.
What is your appellation? Yeah. Who did you say you were again?
My name is Indigo. Indigo is my first name. Should I say my first name or my first? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my appellation.
And I know exactly who you are. Your first appellation was Indigo Butterfly.
If you would be, hold on 1 second. Hold 1 second. If you would be so kind, because we're all on national,
Okay. All right. I got you. All right. I got you. Okay. First of all, a free national all right. I got you. I won't mention that. All right. Now, you have attributes and you have free national appellations, and of course you have names. A name is, we're changing the name, or we're correcting the name, and choosing your free national appellation. So when you deal with that, then you have some people who have attributes, slightly different from a free national appellation. So someone might have an attribute that describes something you know that, oh gosh, off the top of my head, because again, because we're on a national, it's hard for us to explain it right without offending someone else on what they may choose. Right. So that's the difference. So someone might, I know how to explain it. Some people may have what we'll call a nickname, you know, like when they were coming up, like a nickname. Right. Well, that would be more of an attribute, but not a free national appellation.
That is understood, or understood, yes.
All right. I'm glad to hear from you, and I understand your frustration, and I understand it now. And the other thing is, as far as a free national appellation, of course it must have the ill and or they attached to it.
That I understood, too, yes.
So if you understand the difference, if you look at an attribute versus the free national appellation, compare it to a nickname, that would, you know, okay, and that's, and then contact. I think I still have your right contact because I just contacted you the other day, and maybe we can resolve your issue there. And I am Rosamund Bay, and I think I'm the one you were speaking to.
Well, now I can tell it must have been you because you were recalling, you know, the experience, but understanding that I've spent a lot of energy in the world of business and done a lot of online, you know, stuff, and so sometimes you don't know who you're talking to, even if you're talking to a legitimate person, and with the compromise of so many, I would say, dirty Moors, for lack of better words, infiltrating in businesses, etc. At one point, I was like, has somebody infiltrated this email, and are they trying to represent these people? Because I was just like, there was no clarity at a certain point. And initially, the statement was made, like I used my title is my first part of my name is doctor. And that was understood that we don't use that in free national name. That wouldn't apply. And then my tribal name, that wouldn't apply.
What was it? I didn't hear you. Your first part was what?
It was doctor, you know, like if people have a title or they have
a thanks for reminding me. Let me add this too for the listeners.
That wasn't appropriate, and you explained
that would be a pre-title. A lot of people do that. They'll come with a pre-title. The only title is the ill and obey at the end of whatever that free national appellation is, not a pre-title. Right.
That's what I got. Right. So once I got the part, I said, all right, and then there was a suggestion made for I called it a random last name, but it just happened to be, and I said, whoever this person is, they have a spirit, and they have what I was calling it, like they have intuitive, because how would they know that this is a portion of my name, but not my full name? It was really bizarre, and I kept thinking, okay.
Not really. Let me tell you why. Because you submitted all of those appellations. And so the suggestion, based on, you know, what we're sharing tonight, the suggestion was made from that, trying to understand what it was that was,
All right. So now that we have a clear understanding, what my concern was now is that after all of that, I mean, several emails going back and forth, the final was, can you send us a new autograph? I was like, oh, heck no. Screw. Because I said, how many times do I have to email through this before I can just get a process? So,
well, here's the deal. When a person emails, when a person decides they're going to, and I've had people do this, and I explain to them, like a lot of our people, as a spiritual appellation, if you were to ask me, I have a longer appellation than what you know, and eat on the line. She could give you her appellation, and it's very long. However, whatever's going to go on that card is to what you're going to use. So now with that, you want to sign that. So if someone sent me something and it's 5, 6, 7, whatever it is, and then they decide, you know what, you're right, I'm going to just shorten it like this or do it like this or that. Well, I don't have that autograph that says that. So the autograph gets put. The autograph you send gets scanned into the actual card, so that would have to match. Because some people have, they might have their nom de guerre and just add an ill or bay, which is fine because it's the title that makes it go down. So now, and they might say, you know what, I want to choose Muhammad, you know, Mansour, whatever. I changed it. And I'm like, well, then you're going to have to send me another autograph that reflects that.
I see.
That's all.
So that's all right. So that explains that, because I was thinking, oh no, if I get one more, do something else. So now I understand that. And the thing is I have difficulty communicating through emails like that, because sometimes you don't really get what's being said through language. For me, it's for me.
That's
so
right.
I'm asked to have someone call me. Yes,
I understand, but unfortunately, at this time, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on what side of the fence I guess one is on as it relates to how they deal with emails, the email is the best correspondence for us at this time. That's
right.
I think that's all we can say at this time, and
right.
maybe that will change. And as a matter of fact, with Sister Annie E, I think that we're opening up lines. We're doing what we can, but at this time, that's the best correspondence. That's all. So I hope to hear from you after this conversation.
Well, thank you. I was like, this is right here what she's saying. I didn't even know, but I'm grateful for Cujo, because peace is, we have to be peaceable among all men as far as it depends upon us, and we are family. And one of the things he said to me that made me think, so when I'm doing business with Moors and with family, to think of it that way, because it is a difference in spirit versus when I'm dealing with corporate people in corporate America. It's a class, let's do this right now, da-da-da. And then he explained to me that you sisters are so diligent that there's not a whole staff of people like you expect in a large corporation, where you might have two people's names on the information, but then there's a whole bunch of like ants in the background doing all the work. And he said, no, you need to call in. I said, why should I have to call in when I send my money in, my fiat in? He's like, sister. So he was basically redirecting me, and I'm grateful. And I'm humbled by that, because I said to him also, if they need some volunteers to do some work, I'll put myself on that line, because there's Moors in this nation. We need to stick and work together. But I have to have a clarity on what it is that we do. So,
and it's interesting that you say that. There's two things, if I may comment, that you're bringing up that I would like to, that's a good opportunity to share. And you said
sure.
it. We have people as well that they act like they're dealing with a corporation, like, and it's sad, because in some ways it's sad, because some of the things that they ask us about, they would never ask a corporation to do, ever.
Well, I do.
Well, I mean, no, some of the stuff they wouldn't even question it, but now.
True.
Right. And like, say, for instance, like, I'll have some people like they'll the way they talk, and I'm not talking about you, but like other people, where they'll act like instead of emailing or something, because they will get a response on the email. That's for sure. It might be 2:00 in the morning, it might be the next day or whatever, but they will get the response. But instead of them, like, say if they make an order through a credit card or through the PayPal process, if they have a situation, they'll actually send it to PayPal when all they had to do was ask me. And so, like, when it comes to cards, if someone does that, I tell them to cancel their order and either redo it again, because the time frame with that activity, first of all, the cards at this time are at least 2 weeks out before you would even get a draft of anything, and I'm trying not to make 3 weeks out, trying to make sure that we can keep it in that frame. And then when they do that, they start monitoring. Oh, well, if you got 3 days to answer this, 3 days to answer that, and the question that they had could have been answered if they had just asked it. And so they're used to dealing with corporations, and then some of the things they do and say, and I don't have my, it's just very that attitude. They bring us that corporate attitude. Not that we should not have good business, because business just means busyness. How you're busy, whether it's corporate or Lodi or whatever, but they don't have the experience of dealing in our nation's work at all. And this goes to just what we're talking about tonight. Birthrights are not commercial, and they try to fit it into that, but there are still ethics and things like that should work. But I'm glad to hear from you, because I recently, I think last week, sent you another email, because it's a matter of, look, if someone is not interested or whatever, like the last thing we're going to do is keep their finance. And that's the first thing they do. I sent my finance and you're trying to keep my finance. I'm like, I'll send it right back.
At first I said to Cujo, I was like, I don't know what they're doing. He said, you need to go, and I said, I don't trust. Because, you know, at some point when you have that mindset, and I say I have the mindset, corporate mindset, I'm working on the other, because I've been an executive in the world so long, and I've had to be responsible for so many things. So it's that mindset. And when you're dealing with people and you don't have the audio mindset, you've not been taught that, you don't immediately react and respond that way. So I'm like, that's not professional. And he's just giving it.
Since you've been an executive, I just want to put this out there.
Yes.
Yeah, but Eddie and I both are dealing with a lot of things in what we do. But now, for instance, if you had someone that was going to say, like they say, oh, let me help out, I want to volunteer, I'll answer the phones. Now, let's say people think, oh, answering the phones is a small thing. But the truth, or just like being like a receptionist, is a minor thing. You know from your experience, it's not. It's most important because exactly, and that's why people say, "Well, I'll volunteer," but they don't. If they don't know what not to say, what to say, it's even worse because they don't have they don't have the answers. So we're growing as a nation into we'll get there. And now that I'm speaking to you,
I'm humbled because now I realize, and this is not a negative thing, but like you said, we're growing, and it's Cujo was really bringing this out. He was like, this is not the same as when you go to the university, you go 4 years, you get out of school, and you have this eyesight of what you're going to do, and it's all set out and cut out for you. We are carving the way. All of us in whatever aspect that we're doing, and collectively or sometimes separately to make it collective or unified, and it's a challenge. So now that I got that, he focused or put my attention toward it. I was able to focus on it, and so before I called tonight, I was in prayer about it. I said, I want to have the right understanding and understanding about this because this is my family. And even if I said, like I said before, I said the last email I wrote was, send me my money back. I ain't playing with this nonsense.
I didn't get that one. No, I didn't get that one.
I didn't get that one. It's in the, what they call it, the draft file. Maybe I said, you don't need to send that. So.
Because I didn't get that because if someone does that, I do that immediately because the last thing, and let me tell you something else. The last thing I would want to do is for anyone to think that we were keeping their finances. So I didn't get that one, but I trust that, we'll work this out or whichever way you want it to go. But that's another thing. Yeah. I've got a pile of cards that people have put in their application. Now, aside from the fact that some people have ordered it, whether they ordered it manually through the mail or through a PayPal order, and they weren't really sure that they wanted to do it, but now with this onslaught of people knowing they need to really declare their nationality and get their well, guess what? So now there's people who have ordered cards from a year ago, and I will find them for them. Now, the problem, one of the biggest problems we have is that they don't put enough information on the application, such as an email address, because if you're doing something that's graphic, you always have a draft copy for approval before you print it. That's something that's common sense, right? I would think. However, I got a pile where people have either not put an email nor have they put a phone number. So every now and then, every so many months, I have this card that I put in and say, listen, we're trying to process your card, but you have not provided an email nor
I got it.
Oh, you got it. Okay, all right.
And I responded like, what? Did you look at the application? And so I was like, okay, this is what they call press the button feeders. And I said, I need to talk to somebody because they've been looking at my application. But I get it all now. I get what you're saying. I get what you're doing. It's like a mom and pop shop, so to speak. And you've got two sisters. You're working with a multitude of documents, a multitude of information. It's proprietary, and you really can't. What Cujo was saying too, you can't just trust anybody coming to your office and just start trying to help people out, because this is just identifying information. This is like you don't just give anybody your Social Security if you would have one still, whatever. That's private information. You know,
and guess what?
so
You're bringing something else up, too, that needs to be put on the table. You just said that. You don't just give anybody, and I have done that and learned my lesson, you know, even at our classes. You know, people come in, oh, I want to help. Well, if they came to the class to learn, what I learned is they need to sit down and come to the class and for a good 3 months, that's a 90-degree term, before I allow them to do anything, because, you know, you don't know what they're doing. I learned a serious lesson with that. You know what I mean? Because I really did. I really did. And you're right. It is proprietary. Now, we have separated, and he handles the proclamations and traditional name correction, and I handle the card. So guess what? A lot of people, they don't, I think someone mentioned earlier on the line, our people don't know how to read, nor do they follow directions. And do I have to say how many, and what do you do? Because they'll do they didn't follow the directions, you know, and then they want to have an attitude about it. And we have to be as diplomatic as possible and deal with that a lot. But most of what we're finding is that our people do not, I mean, anybody can make a mistake or miss something, but for the most part, we're finding a lot of people who just don't seem to know how to follow directions. And the other thing we found, and I know, Annie, you spoke about this on one of the things, is that do not listen to what other people tell you is the process. If you go on the site on the National Identification Card page, at the very bottom is where they're going to find the application for the card, because we suggest they read the whole page. But at section 13, of that page, and we cleaned it up to try to make it, you know, as succinct as possible, it gives you step by step, 13.1 or 13A, 13B, 13C, or I think it's 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, everything to do. And even with that, and not to do. And even with that, they don't follow it. Then we find out the reason they don't follow it is because they listen to their homeboy tell them what to do. Instead of, and then by the time it gets to us, we're like, well, did you read the instructions on the site? And they're like, no, I didn't read the instructions. My friend told me. And there we go. So we have to cipher through all of that. Imagine now, cipher through all of that.
My heart is to you now, because I'm imagining you had maybe 7 to 15 calls before, emails before mine that were that way, and then you get mine. It's, oh, here we go, another one.
I'm glad we talked, sister. I'm glad we talked, and I do look forward to. I'm going to wait for an email.
Always better for me. Always better, but I realize that you can't always get on the phone. So, Brother Cujo, I'm grateful for you. Gratitude.
That's another thing. Let's bring this up too, because of, as you said, this information and this carving and everything, and the information is so confounding or profound that people who do call, a lot of times they want you to give them a class on the phone, and that's a very difficult thing to get away from. Which is one of the other reasons why. So unless we had people who were going to get on the phone and give classes, and the lines would all be tied up giving classes on the phone, but we give classes. We have the blog, we have the physical location, we have the site, and that's another issue too. But you know, we know that it'll all get better soon.
Yes. Well, hopefully, Allah will bless you with some qualified people to be of good assistance and to be of integrity. And until then, we just have to be patient and maybe be blessed. We ask Allah for directions. They'll run us into Brother Cujo or somebody like that.
Well, that's why the network that we have, we're really happy with, because Cujo does. It's great that you did that, because we're all connected. That's the only MST of A that we would ever that we suggest people to become members of. So we're all connected, and everybody has their abilities and personalities and ways of explaining things. So it's good that it came from there, because he understands what's going on, and how he's sharing some of that himself in terms of what he got to do in his office. So we all get it, and however we get it is as long as we get it. But I'm glad that I talked to you, because like I said, I think it was just last week. I emailed, but I didn't get anything back, because I go through these things. I try to go through these files and say, all right, let me do this, or whatever. So I will wait for an email from you. And now that I've talked to you, it's like even though I don't have a face, I do have a voice.
Right.
And I'm glad that we were able to have this discussion.
Well, I'll send a new autograph, and I'll send it so it's clarifying the title better.
All right.
Because I do have a little so, and I realize that since the appellation is much longer, it's probably covering it up somehow. So I see that.
And let me say this. Your spiritual appellation still is an attribute or appellation. This is what I tell people. That is still yours, but these people don't even need to know that. All you need is to put out there what you're going to navigate with that they need to know. They don't need, you know how it says in the ancient text, you can't speak you can't have the name, but you can't speak it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's
right.
Right. All right.
All right. All right. Sounds good. I will send that out. And if I have any other questions, then I'll email you, and I'll try to make it succinct and clear. I don't have a lot of time, and you don't either. So
all right,
we're gonna honor that. So thank you, Brother Cujo.
Yeah, he usually is off by now. Hey, listen, sis, I'm going to text him and say thank you, too. So I'm really glad. All right, peace.
All right, peace and love.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Praise God.
All right. Caller 706-424, you're live on the air. Please state your appellation at Northwestern Mexico.
Islam, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, just a second. Let me take you off loudspeaker. Let me take you off the loudspeaker so I can speak with you.
All right. We hear you well.
All right, just 1 second. All right, Islam, Pep. Islam, are you there?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. This is Brother J. Bay calling from Northwestern Exum. I just want to say peace to the mothers and the sons and all of the family out there. I had three of the little comments I just wanted to add tonight. Just showing how the great Allah and the universe will show you that the information of the prophet is true, right, and exact. The first comment is that I was having a conversation with a Hindustani brother.
Yeah.
I guess you would consider that Indian.
They say no such thing as Indian. Hindustani is the people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, but the brother and I, we were talking. We were just having a general conversation about music, culture, different things, and he was saying out of the blue that he was born in Botswana, Africa, but he says in the same breath, I was born in Botswana, but I am still Hindustani. And that immediately struck truth in my mind to something that you sisters are always saying, that it is not where you're born, but it is the bloodline. And it rang so true in my mind, it just reaffirmed that it is bloodline, and this is a universal truth that most everybody else in the world, on the planet, knows besides our people. I mean, he didn't even have to question it or to wonder. It's just common knowledge. And that in itself proves that our people have to wake up. That everybody else knows that it's bloodline, and it's not place. It's not geography, but it's bloodline. That was the first comment. And the second one, I was listening to some television, and a commercial came on, and I don't know if you sisters have ever run across those commercials that advertise like the vacation spots, and this one was for the territory of either North Carolina or South Carolina. But anyway, it was a Moorish sister on there talking, and she was talking about the beach. But at the end of the commercial, she said, plain as day, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the exact wording, but the gist of it was, she said, plain as day, greater than history, we have heritage. And again, the bell rung so clear in my mind from the lessons that she just sat there and said that we have a Moorish sister saying that greater than history, we have heritage here, and she was talking about a geographical spot on the land. So if you read signs and symbols, and if your eye is open, you can see that the Moorish sister was saying that forget all that false history. We have heritage, and this is coming from your mother, and connected it directly to the land. And this is what the modern Europeans are putting out here. But if you're not awake enough to see it or to hear it, then it flies over your head. Now, the third comment is that I suggest, because I heard Ms. Rahim speak about it a couple weeks ago. He mentioned it, but I would suggest that if any Moors have any chance to take the time out to view that movie, Founders, about McDonald's, and I recently had a chance to listen to that movie, and if you listen to it, there is so much symbolism in that movie that at first will go right over your head if you're not paying attention. And I'll make it really, 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 really quick and really, really short because I know you're pressed for time. The modern European comes in and he basically takes over the business and the franchise. Well, it's not a franchise. He takes over the business from the McDonald's brothers. All right, but in the movie,
it was their system of production. Yeah, and it was me. This is Sister Anna E. who spoke about it.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, over their system, and they hired him to franchise it, and they had a contract. Okay, now I liken that to the modern Europeans coming to our land, and then we made a treaty with them. Okay, now in that contract, he found that he was bound to certain terms and agreements. Now, to break that, what he did was he stopped selling the franchises, but started buying the land in which the franchises would be built upon, which is totally outside of the original agreement, which made the original agreement null and void. He went to the land, which proved again that it is the land what is the worth, not the building on it, but the treasure is in the land. I'm sitting here, I'm going, oh man, okay. So again, in one scene, he's talking, and he says, well, man, when I first saw your name, I knew I had to have it. And again, and I liken that to the modern Europeans coming here and seeing us and seeing our culture and saying that whatever they have, I got to have it. And he literally says, when I saw McDonald's, which was the family's appellation, he says, I had to have it. So basically, he traded places with them. And he says, well, my name was Quartz or something. And he's like,
Quartz.
That was, it was too Slavic. He said Slavic. Yeah, he said, nobody would go there. I said, now, this modern European is bearing witness again. He's telling you who he is. And he says that nobody would go there, but you have the great American name. It extended itself to all American values. I'm like, I know who the true Americans are, and I know what he's saying. He didn't say the United States, the USA. He said the great American idea, customs, and culture. So again, what are they telling you in that movie? They're basically telling you their story. They came here, they saw it, they switched places, they found the value in the land, and they had to have it all. And they did it through trickery of words. And I just found that to be so interesting that the universe would ring true and bear witness again to bring proof to your eyes if you just stop and listen. They'll tell you that everything.
That's why the prophet said you will gain back your heritage and your lost estate. That's the land, right? In a conflict that cannot be told in words. And earlier, our great brother Dominion said you have to live being a national. You have to live it.
Yes.
So it's not something that somebody can give you or show you or tell you. You have to do it, you know?
Yes. And I want to thank you two mothers for all of the tireless work that you two do on the behalf of the family. And I don't really know about the controversy, why there's negativity coming against
arrogant
this part of the family. I don't know. But I'm just saying that everybody needs to just stop the infighting, and pick up their books, because if they were truly studying, they wouldn't have any time for the negativity and to come against active Moors. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So in closing, and I will yield the floor to thank you, mothers, Cujo, Mizraim, Taj, and all active Moors and all true studiers out there. Just keep it up.
Islam.
Keep it up. Islam.
Islam. Thank you, brother.
So much. All righty. Let's see. And we got one more caller. Caller 773-619. You're live on the air. Please state your appellation and Northwest Mexico.
Islam family, Islam. This is Brother Roscoe Bay.
Islam.
I have one question about the appellation. In the cases that you're a senior or junior, would your title of nobility go at the end of the family name or behind the senior or junior?
Well, there is no baby the second. That's good.
Wouldn't be senior or junior. It would be first, second, or third, or fourth, fifth. So your junior would be the first. The senior, well, actually, no, the senior would be the first.
No, the junior, because, well, the first would be the senior.
The senior would be first. The junior would be the second, because that's how it used to be. That's why you have Elizabeth the first, Elizabeth the second, Elizabeth the third. You'll never see Elizabeth Jr., Senior, or anything like that. It's always the first. If you go back into our history, you'll see first, second, third, Suleiman the first, Murad the third. You don't never see the juniors or seniors.
That's English. The juniors. Yeah, go ahead.
So in that case, it would be like, let's just say Hudson the second, if it was a junior, or Hudson Bay second.
Well, you would never put Bay the second. If anything, you would use the second on the family attribute or family appellation, but never on the Bay. It wouldn't be like, I don't know, let's think of something. Stewart, McAllister, Bay the second. Never, ever. Because it's that's the whole family appellation. Stewart, McAllister the second. It kind of doesn't blend because it's really about the family name. Well, it does, but I think we definitely wouldn't use junior or senior. That's English. That's definitely not correct. But it could be the second, like she said, Suleiman the second. Now Suleiman the second, he had a full appellation, but Suleiman the second, Suleiman the first. But they all have full appellations. They're very extensive appellations, but what they use is like Suleiman the second, and it might be Bay. But exactly. There's certain parts of their appellation that they use in the public, and the rest is all private, used amongst family members. But I think what he's asking is that he may be coming from a place right now, and maybe we've got families making their declaring their nationality. So let's say he's coming from a family right now. As whatever, Muhammad Suleiman Bey or whatever, but he's a second. He's known as a junior, right? And then his father wants to get involved also, let's say, or his son. How will we handle that? I have been handling it by putting a small superscript 2 or 1 or whatever on the last family, but not the ill or the Bey, if it's exactly the same.
Oh, for clarity.
All right.
You're saying Bay after the second, or just
yes,
right,
Bay
exactly.
after the first, second, or third, then Bay.
Right. Yes.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
All right.
Islam.
All righty. All right, Islam. All right. I guess this is the last call. Caller 312-307. You're live on the air. Please state your appellation and Northwest Maxim.
Islam. Peaceful greetings, beloved. I am Mustafa Nazir Berel of Northwest Maxim in Morocco, Mecca, Morocco territory. I wanted to say that I think it was meant for me to listen to everything that everyone was speaking about because some of the things I need to actually hear in regards to the driver's license, which is a situation that I was dealing with just recently and currently I'm dealing with. I actually received went through a situation just for all the Moors who are listening, where I was dragged out of my vehicle because I told the corporate agents of the Elgin Police Department Corporation that I gave them constitutional law and told them the failure to identify is not an arrestable offense. They were so pissed off that I gave them constitutional law. They didn't ask me to step out the vehicle or anything. They just dragged me out. Before I get into that, I just want to tell everyone that's listening that I want to give honors first and foremost to Mother Allah and give honors to the Prophet Noble Ali. I want to also give special thanks and honors to my brother Hassan Bey. Literally, like destined to meet this brother when he was in the Mecca, Morocco territory. I love him with all my heart. And because of him, I was introduced to Taj Tariq Bey and his teachings, and introduced to RV Bey publications, and feel like that I personally know the mothers, though I've actually never corresponded with you all, via the telephone, but I believe that some of you all were assisting me before under my Yahoo email. I just wanted to let you know that I'm under my Mustafa at Gmail email. I don't want to put the rest on there. And I have been reaching out to you guys in regards to, you got my national identification card out to me. But my actual sealing papers I never received. I sent you all some correspondence, and I know that you all are extremely busy. So I just tried to make sure I sent to all the emails that I knew were applicable. So that I can get those taken care of as soon as possible. I raised my 4 little ones on my own. And as I'm going through this process and everything, they're all under the age of 9. I want to get things straight with them as well, because I'm teaching them everything that I know, even with law, because I'm studying the heck out of constitutional law. And what the mother said, for everyone that's listening, is true. The supreme law of the land is constitutional law, period. There's no law that supersedes that. And it falls on the res judicata. The decisions have already been made, so there's nothing else to really discuss. There's nothing else to really talk about. And I'm actually working on, after watching a YouTube video for Brother Mario L. Bay. He's hilarious to me. I put my traveling rig together. And, just to give a reminder, sometimes you have to give a reminder to these agents, because I just went through the experience for everyone who's listening, where these corporate agents, these highwaymen, these mercenaries, they don't really know the Constitution. They swear an oath to uphold the Constitution, and they actually don't know it, because there's no way, if they know the Constitution, they put themselves in a predicament where they mess their families' lives up, their career up, and everything, because I'm going to stand on law. I'm going to file a suit under Title 18. I'm going to, this stuff is going to happen. But just for everyone listening, the Supreme Court ruling is, if you have relied on prior decisions of the Supreme Court, you have the perfect defense for willfulness. This is U.S. Dot versus Bishop 412 U.S. 346. I mean, it's there. And even if, like, I went through my experience, they told my land conveyance, all type of stuff. Their deputy chief of police, and I'm going to make this very quick because I'm looking at the time. Their deputy chief of police gave me a call today, and he tried to work something out with me. And I told him I'm fine. I mean, I've submitted my writs for the magistrate to prove his delegation of authority and submit his oath of office, oath of office, and I put my default judgment in as well, because I know he can't submit that, and to answer that writ would be a federal offense. So I know that he can't. So I don't have to work out anything with you. You're liable. Your corporate agents are liable. You did this. This is what you did. So I just want everybody out here to know that you have to stand on law. And it all comes part of study. My brother Hassan, I used to get so frustrated with him. Guys, and he'd be like, man, I want to help you, beloved, but I can't. I'm going to leave it to it. He wouldn't answer me. And when he didn't answer me, I'll just go and I'll look. And I'll be like, oh, wow. And I'll be like, oh, okay. And I tell people all the time, I don't need a gun. I don't need any of this type of stuff. Bullets. It's my ammunition, this pen. The pen is my head of the sword. And in this case, it's my laptop and these ink cartridges that I'm always buying. My cell phone that I'm using to call the postal service and tell them to send me boxes of these legal envelopes. And I know that you all at RV Bay Publications have got a lot of correspondence from me lately. I sent a lot of stuff to you all.
What's your appellation again? Mustafa
Nazir Bear-El. Mustafa Nazir Bear-El.
Bear, B-A-E-R?
B-E-A-R, yep.
Oh, Bear-El. And what corporate territory, what corporate city or state are you talking?
Rockford, Illinois Republic is where I am.
Okay, now you said you got your card, correct?
Yeah, I've been received a card maybe about a month and a half ago.
But you're waiting for the proclamation.
Yeah, I haven't received those.
Spring is almost here. It's time to clear out the old and make room for what's new. This week only, come to Cabela's and find incredible deals